Evening settled slowly along the riverbank, not as a sudden change, but as a gentle shift in light and air. The sky softened into pale gold, and then into calm shades of blue, and the water reflected each color as it passed. Mole stood near the doorway of Rat's riverside home, looking out across the quiet surface of the river. The day had been long in the most peaceful way, full of drifting, soft conversation and the steady comfort of moving water. Rat stepped outside and joined him. "This is my favorite hour," Rat said quietly, "when the river grows still and the world seems to listen." Mole nodded. He could feel that stillness now. The air felt cooler, but not cold. The kind of cool that invited rest. The kind that made every sound softer. They walked down the small path to the dock and untied the boat. The wood creaked gently as they stepped aboard. Rat pushed them away from the shore with a light movement of the oar, and the current welcomed them once again. They did not go far. There was no need. The river carried them along a slow bend where tall reeds stood like quiet watchers at the edge of the water. The surface of the river moved gently, barely rippling beneath the fading light. Mole leaned back and let the motion of the boat rock him slightly. "This feels different from the day," he said. Rat smiled. "Evening on the river is softer. Everything lets go of the day and prepares for rest." They drifted without direction. The sky darkened slowly, and the first stars appeared one by one. They did not rush into view. They simply arrived, quietly and patiently. A small bird called from somewhere among the reeds and then fell silent again. The sound did not break the calm. It blended into it. Mole watched the reflection of the stars form on the surface of the water. Each light trembled slightly, then settled as the river carried it forward. "It feels like the river is dreaming," he said. Rat dipped the oars lightly, guiding the boat toward a quieter stretch where the banks curved inward and the water grew even calmer. "Perhaps it is," Rat replied. "Or perhaps it helps us dream." They allowed the boat to come to rest among the reeds. The gentle movement of the water rocked them slowly. The sky above had deepened into soft blue, and the moon rose carefully over the trees, casting a pale glow across the river. Mole felt his thoughts slow. He did not try to follow them. He simply listened to the steady sound of the water brushing against the boat. Rat rested his oars across his lap and looked out at the quiet river. "Sometimes," he said softly, "it is enough to sit and let the world move without us." Mole agreed. They stayed there for a long while, saying very little. The boat drifted just enough to keep the water whispering along its sides. The reeds swayed gently. The moon climbed a little higher. Time passed, but it did not feel like passing. It felt like resting. At last, Rat lifted the oars again and guided the boat back toward the dock. The night had settled fully now. The sky was calm and clear. The river moved as steadily as ever. They tied the boat loosely and stepped onto the dock. The wooden boards felt cool beneath their feet. Inside the house, a small lamp glowed softly, casting warm light across the simple room. Mole sat near the window and listened to the river outside. Rat moved quietly, setting things in order for the night. There was no hurry in his movements. Everything was done slowly, carefully, as though the night itself were part of the home. Mole leaned back and let the sound of the water fill the room. The river flowed on. The night remained calm. The world asked for nothing. He felt a deep sense of comfort settle over him, like a blanket placed gently across his thoughts. The day had drifted by without effort. The evening had followed just as softly. Outside, the moonlight rested on the water, and the reeds stood quietly along the bank. Nothing moved quickly. Nothing needed to change. Mole closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the steady rhythm of the river. Tomorrow would come slowly. The boat would wait. And the story would continue, just as gently as the water moving past the shore.